Hey guys, it's me, Lil Ninja, back with another video, and today we're doing What If Deku Had Omnitrix Part 1, and I know what you're thinking. Yes, it's a redo. This is definitely a redo. I probably might have not put it in the comments, but yeah, it's a redo of some other redo. I haven't redid something like 2 times before, so this is a first. I'm out of breath like a lot. So this is basically going to be like a little bit different from the first redo. Also, the second part of that didn't get that many views. So I hope the second part will actually allow me to get more views than I did this time. So yeah, maybe it was how it looked. Also, I want you guys to subscribe more because we're almost at 300 subscribers. So let's get it. And without further ado, let's get into the video. It's Little Ninja time. We start off where we would usually start off in one of my what ifs. Is Zuko being prescribed with not having a quirk at all? And because of this, he is bullied by Bakugo and others. But then we stop to his 10th summer, which would also mean his 10th birthday. Yes, his 10th birthday is at the end of school. So, yeah. Izuku would have his 10th birthday, and of course, his mom and his father, yes, what's the name? I forgot his name. I'm going to call him Hitachi Midoriya, take Izuku and Izumi, which is his basically biological twin sister, which both of them were only diagnosed as quirkless because their quirk gene was isolated and there wasn't enough of the gene to have a quirk. So yeah. But they have recognized that Izuku and Izumi have a energy inside of them that not other quirk users have. So that they're still trying to study Izumi and Izuku see if this will be an evolution inside of the quirk stages. So yeah, Izuku and Izumi would have a great birthday, getting all the things that they wanted, and then would go on a summer trip with their mother and their father, with Izuku going out to get firewood and would see a shooting star. Although this shooting star is not a shooting star. In fact, it's a wormhole that just spit out a meteor, or something that looks like a meteor. The thing that Izuku assumes is a meteor crash lands right in front of him, with Izumi not being far behind since she wanted to see how Izuku was doing. With the radiation of the rock, what both of them think is a rock, affecting them harshly. With Izuku's energy going up a lot, and with Izumi's quirk gene fully activating. Meaning she has a combination quirk of her mother and her father, which is Hisashi and Inko Midoriya. With her having a fire control and fire production quirk, which will be called the flame control quirk. With Izuku looking at the rock, realizing it's not a rock, more of it being an orb that he gets closer to, with the orb just slightly opening. Then his watch would jump out and would latch on to Izuku's arm, with both Izuku and Izumi being mesmerized, with Izumi feeling her quirk, and Izuku just trying to figure out what is this thing that's on his arm. It would say, registered energy found. Omnitrix fully recalibrated. Activating now. The Omnitrix would recalibrate into its final form, which would be the Omniverse Omnitrix. With Izuku seeing this, not really knowing what to do, all aliens have been accessed. Some aliens still locked. Other DNA still out. Yes, because of this wormhole, two universes have combined, and a villain has come for the Omnitrix. Someone that Izuku will have to fight. Izuku would look at the watch, pressing a button that would actually turn the watch on. Seeing all these different forms, not knowing what to do, the Omnitrix would eventually deactivate, with Izuku's energy supply being depleted. The Omnitrix, well, let me explain. The Omnitrix in this timeline needs a certain type of energy that only humans have. Well, not humans per se, only Quark humans have. With this being, meaning, I'm going to say not everything from every universe has basically gone into this. The plumbers, basically everything from Benton has teleported into this universe. Everything. Meaning there is double the amount of humans that there are, double amount of humans that there are, what we'll call them are meta-humans, which is a reference to a show that I watch. If you don't know what show I'm talking about, then you don't need to know. Okay. Izuku, for the rest of the summer, would start messing with this watch, realizing that this watch allows him to transform into different things. Of course, people will still want to come for the Omnitrix, but some of them will know that this Omnitrix will not function without the energy that is in Izuku's body. So yeah, instead of a time limit, Izuku has an energy that basically allows him to transform inside of him. So this machine basically uses that energy to transform Izuku. Right now, because of the energy supply that he has at the 10, he is only able to transform into up to the 10 mark. His energy will have to be replenished after the 10 minutes are up, which he would see. Yes, the 10 minutes will go up farther when his body is basically ready to produce more energy at a time. And no, just because he's 10, doesn't matter what age he is, just because he's 10 doesn't mean that he will basically, stay having, it doesn't matter, it doesn't depend on his age is what I'm saying, that's what I'm saying. And then we time skip to when the plumbers got back to their regular selves, when basically Ben, to when it's a little something, you'll see, to when Izuku has somewhat mastered the Omnitrix, learning a bunch of different aliens like Feedback, Diamond Head, Heat Blast, many different aliens. And he knows these are aliens because that's what the Omnitrix called them. The Omnitrix in this timeline, the Omnitrix's AI is fully activated, meaning that it will help Izuku along the way, meaning if he doesn't get the instincts of the alien, the Omnitrix will tell him the data of the alien. The Omnitrix would also tell him that there are discs still out there. These discs will allow him to activate the other parts of the Omnitrix, meaning basically like the power-ups like Ultimate or Fusion or armored Omnitrix, from the reboot. So yeah, Izuku would be 15 at the time, trying to keep the Omnitrix a secret inside of his middle school. With Kachan finally making him tick off, with all the other students bragging about their quirks and how Izuku doesn't have a quirk, Izuku would finally get over it and would say, I guess it's finally time for me to tell you. I've been more powerful than all of you. But, and then Izuku would say, but I didn't want to get stuck up. I made sure that this would shape me into the best hero that I could be. But it's time to finally show you. And then he would start dialing up one of his aliens. It would be Heat Blast. Everyone would be surprised as Izuku has a quirk. And Izumi would finally show her quirk off, saying that she has the best. She didn't want to show off, and she wanted to follow Izuku's example. So she did the same. with both of them showing off their quirks, with Heat Blast matching Izumi's fire quirk. Izuku would slam the watch, and he would transform back, while Izumi would stop using her fire. They would both walk out the class, thinking they can get out of here faster, with it already being the end of the day. Izumi would cut ahead of Izuku and would go straight home, while Izuku would try to go straight home. With Izuku following suit behind her, he would see his sister inside of the sludge villain. Izuku would slam the watch and would not use his fire. Actually, he would use his fire, which is from Heat Blast, to take the sludge villain down because of how it is basically Izumi is invulnerable to fire. She can just absorb it because her body, basically fire resistance. Yeah, because it's a fire quirk. I can do what I wanted with it. So yeah, Izuku would rush at the villain after Izumi would get out after absorbing the fire that Izuku gave off. Yes, she can absorb fire, so that would mean Todoroki's fire side cannot do a thing to Izumi. So yeah, Izumi and Izuku would get praised by All Might, and then he would grab the sludge villain and walk away. Well, fly away, technically. Izuku and Izumi being so psyched that they actually met All Might. And I'm going through this pretty fast. And I just wanted not to be slow, but make sure I'm going at a steady pace, not trying to go too slow, not trying to go too fast. Because this what if basically matters, because I've been trying to do a Ben 10 what if for the past 2 years. And really, after the third or second what if of Ben 10, nobody really wants to watch it no more. So yeah, Izuku what? Oh yeah, Izuku and Izumi would walk away from the bridge, and a few minutes later they would see the sludge villain again, but this time it's suffocating Bakugo. At this moment, both Izuku and Izumi would rush towards Bakugo, with Izuku mentally dialing up Heat Blast, with him finding a disc to basically have the control to transform into any alien he wants at any time, but he won't be able to stay in that alien form because of his energy consumption for a long time. Right now, at this age, he is able to basically stay in alien form for about 30 minutes without excessive transformations. So yeah, Izuku would mentally transform into Heat Blast. Actually, no, not Heat Blast. He would mentally transform into Forearms, and would start slamming at the sludge, trying to tear it off of Bakugo, with Izumi trying to use her flames to basically boil the sludge till it's basically too liquidy to basically, so it can just fall off. That did not work because the sludge villain has dealt with them before, with Bakugo trying to use his explosions even more so that he can escape. But Izuku would switch transformations into basically, I forgot what it's called. Water hazard, yeah. He would start using his water to splash through the sludge villain, with it piece by piece getting off of of Bakugo. Izuku would transform one more time into Humongousaur, and would tear enough sludge off for Bakugo to breathe, and would give Izumi enough time to get Bakugo out of the sludge villain, with Izuku finally being able to not pull his punches anymore, and would start bashing the sludge villain in, knocking it out like a Pokemon, like you see on the screen. Bakugo would not thank Izuku or Izumi, with All Might watching this a few minutes later would ask one of them to take one for all. Izuku would say Izumi should take one for all. Izumi would accept and would begin her training, with Izuku and All Might helping her, with Izuku increasing his time limit to about 40 minutes, with his energy being higher than it usually is. Yeah. 5 months later, Izuku would start wandering through a forest and he would see drones. Drones that would spot the Omnitrix and try to take it off of Izuku, with Izuku using forearms to slam the robots' heads in. With Izuku running away, and while he's running, finds a disc called Ultimate. The Omnitrix would scan the disc and would absorb the disc, making him able to use Ultimate. And the Omnitrix would say, 10 discs left. And Izuku would think, I wonder what the other 10 abilities I will need are. Right now I only have 2, so that would mean 12 abilities in all. Izuku would walk away, finally thinking to basically get out of there. Izuku would go back home, and the rest of the months would be started to train Izumi and himself. Basically, that would give him 40 minutes to basically transform. Meaning, he would train even more to get the 40 minutes up to about an hour. Then Izumi, after those 5 months, she actually was able to get One for All on the 5th month and was able to control about 5%. Now she's able to use 10%. I know she's progressing faster, but that's just because she had more time and she had 2 people helping her instead of just 1. And All Might is kind of bad at visualizing things, and Izuku's way better at that, so yeah. Izuku and Izumi would get to UA with them seeing Bakugo, and Bakugo just basically paying them no mind, with both Izuku and Izumi, with Izuku muttering at the entrance, with Ida, telling him off, with Izuku telling him off because President Mike was trying to speak before you said something, and Izumi would nod her head, with Ida just sitting back down and becoming quiet. Izuku would President Mike would basically say what he was trying to say, about the 0-pointer, and then they would get to their testing sites, with Bakugo and Izumi not being at Izuku's testing sites. Basically, they're trying to separate the people that are in the same schools, so that way they don't basically have a partner, just to see how their partner skills are. With Izuku deciding to partner up with somebody, with him seeing Uraraka. He would walk up to Uraraka, not knowing her name, and would ask her to join him. He would say they probably want us to do a teamwork as well, just for extra credit. Uraraka would think about it and would say yes. Izuku and Uraraka would be ready, and Izuku would say, jump out with me as soon as the gate opens. And Izuku would as soon as the door would open, Izuku would mentally transform into his feedback form. Yeah, feedback form. He would jump at all the robots, with Ochaka being not that far behind, with her using her gravity core to slam the robots together, with Izuku using feedback to basically absorb their electricity and then use it on them, just to destroy them and deactivate them at the same time. Wow, I am almost done this, and I usually don't really get done that fast. We are almost done. So we time skip to when Izuku doesn't pay attention to Ochako enough, and Ochaka gets trapped under some rubble. Izuku transforming into his basically humongous form and starts to get the rubble off of her, with the 0-pointer finally coming out, showing its face, with Izuku using accelerate to get her over to basically Recovery Girl, and getting back into his feedback form. He would jump on the robot, absorbing all of its energy, and would jump off. then he would use all of the stored up energy to obliterate the 0 pointer. And that's it for today. I hope you liked the video. Again, tomorrow will be another new what if, but the rest of the week will just be old what ifs, well, part 2s and part 3s and other parts, basically. And I hope you liked the video, so I'll say bye. Ninja says bye.